Hello everyone. Welcome back to another video here on the channel, Charles Morris. And this is supposed to be pretty exciting stuff going to be talked about in this video, because I'm sure all the world, or pretty much most of people who live here in the United States, just can't wait for Donald J. Trump to actually throw I'm sorry, one of his biggest temper tantrums we have seen yet. And so far, everything is not looking good for him right now. Even though he has been indicted a few times already, he's been found not guilty of January 6th, and it's it's bad. People are upset about it, and the 2020 election was never stolen from Donald J. Trump. It had been won by Joe Biden fair and square, and there was no voter fraud. Nobody There's nothing wrong with Dominion voting system machines. There may have been a bit of voter fraud for a short period of time, but then when the mistake was noticed, that human error was fixed. So yeah, if there had been any kind of voter fraud involved, that voting fraud was just there for like a short time. Somebody got into the Dominion voting system, decided to, mess around with it. But then when the problem was noticed, it was just fixed. So you could go watch that on Frontline. Frontline will give you documentaries on, like what actually happened with Dominion voting systems, and everything will be explained. The 2028 election was never stolen from Donald J. Trump. The voter fraud problem had been fixed, and Dominion voting systems got back up and running properly like they should have been. And the voting systems started working fairly again. So, Dominion voting systems were back up and running as they should have. Now, as much as Trump wants to keep on complaining about how the 2020 election was stolen from him and that stuff, well, he can do that, but it's not going to change anything. Now, as for January 6th, people have Trump on January 5th of 2021, he incited mob to go and attack the Capitol the next day, which was January 6th, 2021. And to have Trump not guilty for this kind of a criminal action of his, yeah, there's something wrong with that. I don't know why the courts decided to just do that, but you know, I didn't like how Trump was found not guilty, but it is what it is. Now you hear news sources like MSNBC and CNN talking about it, possibly News Nation as well, and this is pretty it's bad. Now, as much as Trump loves being found not guilty of January 6th, he still is he's still kind of like a threat to the United States, because he had a court trial and there was a judge that told him to keep quiet about cases and that stuff. Well, with his going and posting to his Truth Social about cases and that stuff, well, then that's a pretty big when you're told to remain silent about something, you're ultimately supposed to, you know, when a judge tells you to remain silent about something and to not talk about a case to others, yeah, you're pretty much supposed to just, you're supposed to keep your mouth shut about that. If you're told to not talk about a court case, then obviously you should not be going to some kind of social media like Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, or any kind of social media app. You shouldn't be going and, you know, discussing the case that you've been told to keep your mouth or completely silent. Or let me put it this way: if you were told to keep yourself completely silent about a specific court case and that stuff, and you just go and you go on social media and you just start telling people about the court hearing that you had that you were told to keep silent about, yeah, that's a big problem. That's a big problem there. Even though Trump's not very smart to be doing something like that, and this isn't the first time that Trump has actually not listened to times people said, "Don't do this." I'm sure there are people that told him to not oh yeah, I can recall what he was not supposed to do during the first during the first debate in 2020, the first presidential debate, he was told by Chris Wallace, the former Fox News anchor, who was working at Fox News at that time. He was told to not claim his victory early in the presidential race. And what did he do? He claimed his victory early. That was one of the times that I've noticed Donald J. Trump had been told not to do something. And what does he do? He just goes ahead and does it anyway. So if he was, here's what happened. He was told by a judge not to talk about a court case to anybody, and he said he completely understood. And what does he do? He goes on Truth Social anyway, and he starts talking about what is going on anyway, and talking about the case that he was supposed to be keeping silent about. And the judge warned him. What does he do? He just decides to just go ahead and talk about the court case anyway on Truth Social. And here he is. He's violating what the judge had told him not to do. So, yeah, that's going to get you into trouble there. Yeah. And if Trump's going to throw a temper tantrum and that stuff, so be it. I mean, a narcissist is just so unfit to be running as president of the United States, and it serves him right to be in jail for at least the rest of his lifetime, because he does not he's almost going to be like probably one of the biggest threats to the United States that we've ever experienced. And if he becomes president of the United States from 2024 to 2028, then you know what the one thing he's going to do? He's going to send the military, our military, the U.S. military, to Ukraine, and then Donald J. Trump would start World War III. And then he would basically put the country in danger at that time. Or in the future. And, you know, it would look very ugly, and I think Russia would actually, you know, want to invade the United States, because we're the ones that got after Ukraine, if that's what Donald J. Trump would plan on doing if he were to take office in 2024 to 2028. And, you know, that would pretty much lead to another impeachment trial of Donald J. Trump for putting the country in danger. And, you know, it would look ugly. But you know how he is. He would throw temper tantrums when he just doesn't get his own way. And if he does ever end up having to go to prison before he can run as president of the United States, it's not going to look so pretty for him. And him just having like one of the ultimate temper tantrums that the country's pretty much going to notice. And they're going to be like, oh, this is the guy we voted back in 2016 to 2020? And we want this guy running for office again in 2024 to 2028? People are going to be like, no. I'm sorry. Donald J. Trump is absolutely, like, unfit to run as president of the United States again. And everybody will notice how much of a big narcissist he is. And this is where Donald Trump is pretty much going to fully expose himself to the public. It'll be fun to watch this guy have like one of the biggest temper tantrums that the U.S. has seen yet. The biggest temper tantrum Trump's gonna have. Well, we'll have to wait to see when that happens. Time only says that. But once he starts having one of his biggest temper tantrums, whether it's because he decided to not keep quiet about a court case that he was supposed to by a judge's order not to talk about it, and yet he goes and posts it on Truth Social. The judge isn't going to be happy that you broke that rule. Yeah. And look what that's going to get you. That's going to get you into trouble. You were told by a judge to keep quiet about a court case and not talk to anybody about this, and you go post it on social media, on your Truth Social, or any other sort of social media. Yeah, that could get you into some pretty big trouble with the law. And everybody, almost everybody, will get to see one of your biggest Trump temper tantrums that we have yet to see. And this is where people are just gonna want, Donald J. Trump would be so unfit to run as president. Not only that, but he would also be, use the military as a weapon to, either threaten the United States or use the military to send the military over to Ukraine and start a World War III. It's either he's going to do at least something to use the military and actually put the United States into really big peril. He would endanger the country. He'd put the country in danger, and that's what a 2024 to 2028 year would actually look like under elected Donald J. Trump. But hopefully this video is a bit of a warning and heads up about what's going on. And hopefully everybody, this is be an experience that hopefully will capture people's attention about what's going on. Hopefully Donald J. Trump does not run for 2024 to 2028. Have a good day. I will see you on my next video. Donald J. Trump could end up being a very, very big threat to the United States. Have a good day. I will see you on my next video.